Hey everyone, it's Deborah J. I just thought I'd make another little video here. I want to discuss Mercury, the planet of Mercury, and why it's important for you to know where Mercury is in your chart. Especially for this is actually really helpful. Whatever about ourselves, it's good to know where Mercury is, but it's also actually really helpful if we know where other people's Mercury is, so our loved ones or our children, actually, especially as well. So Mercury is the planet of communication, thoughts, ideas, words, written words, thought words, spoken words. It rules anything to do with communication, basically, and that would also include things like emails and texts, and it would include electronics and anything basically like that. So you will have heard a lot about, say, Mercury retrogrades. So when Mercury retrogrades, and it does usually three times a year. In 2022 it's actually going to do it four times, but when Mercury retrogrades, it means we go back over. So it usually means that we go back over communication, thoughts, ideas, plans that we had previously. We don't make new plans, basically. We end up being kind of pushed to go back over things. But Mercury, when we're looking at it in a natal chart and we're looking at its position, very basically by looking at the element that Mercury is in, whether it's in air, earth, fire or water, will tell you what your learning style is. So if your Mercury is in an earth sign, which is Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, it means that your learning style is a lot more practical, hands-on, kind of physical, need to know, kind of in the physical realm of things. If your Mercury is in a water sign, which would be Cancer, Scorpio or Pisces, you're going to learn a lot more intuitively, even perhaps in a more feeling kind of way, even in a more kind of like needing to see pictures and kind of the concepts and ideas in a more kind of feeling way. If it's in an air sign, being Gemini, Aquarius and Libra, we're looking at mental. We're looking at people learning through reading, writing, studying, that kind of thing. So people who are a lot more kind of in the mental realm of things. And if you are, what have I left out? Fire. Which would be Leo, Aries and Sagittarius, it means that you learn through experience, you learn through action, you learn through doing. Why is this important? Because when you're communicating with somebody who's in a completely different Mercury sign to you, it can be a little bit hard. It can be like, I don't fully understand you. Also, when it comes to the elements, when we look at our natal chart, some of us can be lacking or in excess in certain elements in terms of the balance in our chart. So if you're somebody like me who doesn't have a lot of air in their chart, when you meet somebody who's a lot of air in their chart and they're talking to you, it's like, I can hear you, I see your mouth moving, but I don't understand what you're saying. And it's literally just like a disconnect. And so when we know what our communication style is simply by looking at the position and the condition of our Mercury in our own chart, just by looking at its elements by itself, it's incredibly eye-opening. Looking at it in terms of the house where it is and looking at it in terms of the actual sign, the zodiac sign it's in, your mind will be blown. There's just so much more that we can dive into and go deeper on. There's almost too much for me to be able to go into here. But this is great for knowing your kids' Mercury sign will help you to understand the way that they communicate a little bit more. Because if your kids have Mercury in a different sign, or if it's harshly aspected, or Mercury conjunct the sun in a cazimi, what we call a cazimi, quite often can mean that, in the earlier years, you can feel like you're a little bit slower at learning the way than other people are. And it's more just to do with the experience and expression of your Mercury sign when it's combust the sun. Things like that, people years ago got labelled as being slow or dumb or all these kind of horrendous things, when in actual fact it's just a placement that they have in their chart and they just have a different need for expression. So we live in a society and in a world where they teach in schools in a very left brain kind of airy kind of way, when in actual fact there's a lot of kids in there who are very creative and need to learn in a completely different way. And the mode and method of which a teacher delivers their information to their children will actually greatly affect their learning and the speed at which they learn. So if you know what your Mercury sign is, if you know what your friends, your family or loved ones, or your kids, if you want to know your kids sign, it makes it so much easier to know what your language is in terms of how to communicate and understand and get ideas across. If this has been helpful, I would love to know. Drop your comments below. Drop me an email if you have any queries, any questions. You can check out your own chart online on deborahjkelly.com. You can put your details in there. And if you're interested to learn more about your own astrology, you can book a session with me. I do 1 and 2 hour sessions, and I'd love to see you then. And I shall talk to you soon. Bye.